You might be right. It might be better to turn up. Hi, I'm Scott Mansell from Driver 61, and today I'm going to take this grinder to see what's inside this Formula One Pirelli tyre. Today I'm at my father's workshop, and their race team run and prepare many period Formula One cars from the mid-90s to around the mid-2000s, and this workshop is like a treasure chest of Formula One parts. So I've dug out this Pirelli Formula One tyre, and we're going to take the grinder to it to see what's actually inside the carcass of an F1 tyre. So first of all, I'm going to take away some of the rubber on the surface of the tyre here to see what's under the surface, and to see what is exposed when we see drivers lock up their wheels and actually go through to the canvas of the tyre. Yeah, so the first thing is that it's surprisingly strong and causes a whole load of smoke. If you can just see here, I've not really taken much rubber off the tyre, and it's created so much smoke. It's actually a lot stronger than I expected. So I'm going to carry on and see if I can actually make it through the initial surface of the tyre, because I haven't even broken through to any of the threads or the nylon or whatever the material underneath the rubber is that I expect to get to. So as you can now see, there's a loop of steel that's in the surface of the tyre, and there doesn't seem to be much else. So next up, I'm going to cut directly through the cross section of the tyre so we can see each layer of what's inside the surface, over the shoulder and through the sidewall of the tyre just here. Okay, so I've put a thinner disc in the grinder now, and it's a lot easier to cut. You can see that I'm almost half the way through, and I'll show you some close-ups of this, but it's very interesting, the construction and actually how thin the surface of the tyre actually is when you look at it in this cross section. So I'm going to flip the tyre over and go in from the other side to finally cut it in half. What was surprising then was actually the differences in how difficult it was to cut through various sections of the tyre. So obviously here where the bead is on the inside of the tyre was very difficult because it's a steel ring that goes around the inside of the tyre. But then as we came through this section in particular, this shoulder section at the top of the sidewall, it was really thin and very easy to cut through. So obviously there'd be quite a lot of flex in the tyre at this point when you see it on track. And then as we come through to the surface here, again, it was quite difficult to cut through. Almost very close. I just need to take out one of these more bands, and then the tyre will be able to open and we'll be able to look inside. As you can see, I'm absolutely covered in rubber, and there was loads of smoke, but I'm really interested to see what's inside this tyre. Okay, so there we have it. We have the quarter of the Formula One Pirelli, and now we can see inside the structure, and actually it's quite thin. So I'll take the camera now and we'll have a look. Okay, so here we have the cross section of the tyre. You can see first of all the steel bead, which is just down here, this circle cluster of wire here. and that runs actually around the inside of the tyre like this, and it keeps the tyre on the wheel and gives it support around that inner edge. Then as we come up the sidewall here, you can see that there's some radial wire that runs around the sidewall, but there's only 2 deep here, and it goes to only one deep here. As we come up to the top of the shoulder of the tyre, you can see there's actually no wire or no nylon in the tyre at all as we come through here. Then on the surface of the tyre, you can see that we've got the core running across here. Now I think, from the sparks at least, this is steel, and there might be some nylon in there, but I'm not exactly sure about that, and that again gives the surface of the tyre some strength. As you can see here, the actual tread, or the slick part of the tyre, is only 4 or 5 millimeters thick as we come through here, and it's got the metal running all the way down for the support. Gets a little bit thicker as we get to the end, as it's got that extra row of metal. And then again we come to the shoulder, which doesn't have any support, it's just the rubber, and as you can see, it's really flexible. See, the top here is a lot stiffer when I try to compress it. And of course the most stiff section is down here near the bead, where the tyre fits to the wheel. So the ridges that you can see on the inside of the tyre here are for when it's in contact with the side of the wheel on the inside, and it's got ridges down here as well. Because the braking forces in an F1 car are so strong and so severe, we need to try and give the tyre as much grip on the wheel as possible. Otherwise, when the driver gets on the brakes, the wheel can actually slip inside the tyre, and that causes all sorts of problems, such as putting the tyre and the wheel out of balance, so the driver would get a vibration when they're running quickly along a straight. So that's all for this Driver 61 video. I know it's a slightly different style and different topic of video, but if you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments if you do like this style of video. Thank you, and see you next time.